Hey, what are you doing?
I'm taking some screws out.
Why?
I was wrong.
You're mumbling. I'm sorry. I'm really having a difficult time understanding.
Because I was wrong, okay?
What? Wrong? What are you wrong about, honey? You're never wrong. Come on now.
Yeah, I was wrong.
About?
This patio cover. I didn't do it right.
I told you should have painted it pink.
That remains to be seen. Alright guys, so this video is dedicated to all those people that left comments, subscribers and non-subscribers that left comments on the first 3 videos on how to build a patio cover. Thank you so much everybody for leaving those comments. But before we get into those to those people, if you're not a subscriber, over 80% of you are not subscribed to the channel. We would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. It helps us put more content out, and it's free. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps our channel grow. And if you hit that like button, you guys won't miss a video as you follow us from our escape from California to Idaho. So thank you again everybody for watching. I gotta do a shout out to some people that left some comments and who this video is actually dedicated to. First I have Chad Maynard from 9 to 5 to Life. If you want to go check out his channel, it's a great channel. And they're also doing the same thing we are. They bought property up in Michigan and they're going to be going off grid. A couple other ones, Tim Fergal is a longtime subscriber and he's also leaving some excellent comments. I've got Robert Ingrassa who was one of the comments that actually started this whole process of looking at what's going on with my patio cover and helped me to do better research. And we also have a lady by the name of Carrie Clark. She also left some really excellent comments. And then last but not least is Sherry Doe. She was very offended that I called her state California. But that's okay. We're escaping this nanny state with this overbearing regulations and the high taxes and the cost of living, as well as all of these requirements for lots and lots of permits for every little thing. So let's dive into it. Okay. You just stay right there and take a nap. Don't worry about the rest of us. What the heck?
She's resting.
Apparently. She's playing dead. Boxers, I swear. They're the funnest, weirdest personalities in the dog world. Okay.
She's still there.
So guys, thank everybody that watched the video. There was a couple of people that pointed out a couple of things they thought was going to be wrong with it. And I have 2 problems with this patio cover that I built. Yes, I was wrong. Now I have done enough of do-it-yourself projects and enough carpentry to feel like I had a good grasp on how to build something solid. But I discovered 2 things that were wrong with this, and 2 of the comments helped me zero in on the problems and to come up with a solution for those. First of all, I had some leaks. So check out where the leaks are from and let me show you guys right now where it's leaking from. All right guys, you can see the roof here. Now this right here was the original roof, okay? And that is, I believe, a 412 pitch. This, I believe, is only a 212 pitch. And that one we had redone, and it was hot mopped underneath, and then flat tar paper put over the top of that, the rock paper. And so that is okay because it was hot mopped. Here's my patio cover. Now I wanted my patio cover shingles to match the roof shingles, so that's why I went with shingles. And it was actually about the same cost, if not maybe a smidge cheaper. I got them on sale. So that's why I went with these. I thought they were easier to put on than having to try and roll out great big rolls of this stuff. But right through here, right up in this area, right through here is where I got some leakage. And you can see the water, the gravel, or the rock that has come off the flat roof. Now the water right here is pouring out, and if you can see over here, let me zoom in a little bit. And you guys can see a little bit of the sand and gravel that's accumulated right there. Most of the water pours off right here. When we get a big heavy rain, all of the water comes off the roof through this area, comes down right through here, and then seems to accumulate and pour off right here. We get this great big waterfalls right here off this edge of the roof. So I wasn't surprised that I got a leak or two here. But what I had done, if you guys can see, there's a little bit of white right here, a little bit of white right there. I used the wrong stuff to seal where I joined the top edge of this shingle, this composition shingle. I used the wrong joint to cover my nail holes. I used the white stuff, and it corroded within a month or so. A couple of months, it was turning to chalk. So I went and got the tar, and I also had used it also right here along the edge where the flashing is. Now that stuff also turned to chalk within a couple of months. I didn't use the tar stuff, so I used the wrong stuff to seal it. So let me show you the flashing right here. And then it leaked like crazy. There was water pouring through here. The other issue is because the pitch is not big enough. So the water tends to pool just a little bit right in here, and it doesn't flow off fast enough. So I need to make this pitch greater so the water will run off. Because what was happening is the water was coming up underneath these shingles. Now I did add some tar right here, and underneath these layers of shingle, I did tuck some tar up underneath there, especially these two layers right here in the snow next to the top. I put a row of tar up and around all in these areas right here to try and keep water from seeping up underneath, but it's still got a little bit of a leak. And now that I put this on here, and I also sealed where it joins the flashing right here, I don't have any more leaks right here at the edge, and I don't have any leaks right here where the nails go through. So you guys can see right here, I put a flashing and I tucked it underneath the existing flashing where it meets the roof. So there is no way for water to get through right here, except for maybe I didn't seal perfectly right here. But I did, that's a double layer of tar now, and it does not leak right there anymore. I don't get any more drips coming down the edge of the fascia inside at all. Okay, so the leaks right there are for two reasons. The pitch of the roof is not enough, as well as I used composition shingles. So the other issue is the bowing of the beams. Now they are barely bowing. Let me show you how much. Little bit of a sag, just a smidge. Okay guys, so check out these tables that I found online from our local city government, from the planning department, and it actually gives you a table, and you can see that I actually built the actual roof joists are bigger than they need to be. They only needed to be 2x4, and I actually made them 2x6 for that size of a span. The span from the beam to the house is 8 foot, and the span between the posts is 8 foot. So if you look at that table, that 4x4 is too small. It needs to be a 4x6 for an 8 foot span. But for the 8 foot for the roof joists, those could have only been 2x4 and they would have been fine. But I did overkill on that with 2x6s. So the fix for both of these things is the same. I'm going to replace this 4x4 with a 4x6, and I'm going to cut my post down a little bit, and that's going to increase the roof pitch. Now the roof pitch, take a look at this diagram, and it actually shows you for what kind of roofing material you can use for the roof pitch. Now Robert Ingrassa had left a comment saying a minimum for a composition shingle roof needed to be a 312 roof. I actually found other information online that you can actually do a shingle roof with as low as a 212. The pitch on my roof, the rise over the run for every 1 foot is about a half an inch, maybe 5/8 of an inch for every foot. So that's not even a 112 roof, 1 inch rise for a 12 foot run. I have 8 foot from the ledger of the house to the beam. So according to code, and city codes are going to be different everywhere you go, but it sounds like Robert might have been a roofer. He said a minimum of 312 to make sure that the water doesn't seep up underneath the shingles. A 312 roof for this span, we're talking a 24-inch drop for 8 feet. So for every foot, it needs to drop 3 inches. So for 8 feet, it needs to drop a whole 24 inches. That ain't going to happen on this roof. A 212 would be 16 inches. So what I have actually is about a half 12. So I need to drop at least, I'm going to drop this about 3 more inches. It's going to get closer to actually a 112 roof, and I'm going to have to just see how that goes, because if I drop this any lower, I'm not going to have any head space. I'm already 6'1", and this is barely 7.5 feet tall. I don't want this patio cover to be right down here at my head. I think that's ridiculous. Okay. Okay, so guys, the fix for both of these issues, at least I'm hoping the fix for the leak, and you can see the leak, what the issues I have with the leak, and you can see that it's not leaking very much up there. So if I drop this down 3 more inches, I think I should get enough runoff with this, with a little bit better of pitch, to solve the rest of that little bit of a leak left, and as well as replace that 4x4. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to replace these. I'm going to jack up the roof just a little bit, replace these. I'm also going to do a scarf joint. Chad Maynard from 9 to 5 to Life, he was expressing some concern with this joint, but if you guys take a look at that scarf joint right here, I'm actually going to move my cuts in just a little bit so that the cuts are actually sitting. That way I have a full piece of wood setting on directly over this 4x4. So I'm going to make my scarf joint just a little bit smaller, and that actually will make, by making that joint a little bit smaller, I'll have the meat of both beams directly over this post, and that'll make that scarf joint actually a lot stronger to do it that way. The only other issue, if you guys take a look at the table that I had for the bases for these, they called for 14-inch, but a minimum of 12 inches in the ground and 8 inches above the ground. I went way overboard. This is 12 inches. This is 12 inches above ground, and it's 2 feet in the ground. Carrie had made a comment about my using the right terminology, ledger versus fascia. Just to remind everybody that I did attach this to what was my fascia for the house, and those are attached to my 2x10s in the roof of the actual addition, and I put a lag bolt into that fascia board, therefore creating a ledger to hang my roof joist from.
You gonna put that one on first?
Yeah.
So you want me to hold the center?
Sure. Okay guys, we finished it all up and we lowered the pitch of that roof closer, somewhere between a 1 and a 2/12 pitch, and we'll see how it works, see what happens the next time it rains. And I replaced those beams with 4x6s. So, and then Tim Fergal, the last little bit of detail is for you. Let me show you what I'm talking about. There you go, Tim. So Tim Fergal was another one of our longtime subscribers that said that he just felt like he needed to put in some gussets. So I put the gussets in, and show you what those look like. We've got the 4x6s. I have Simpson strong ties, hurricane ties, tying those rafter beams to the actual 4x6. So this came out really, really good. I'm really, really happy. I think we're going to be just fine. It looks beautiful. Looks even better than when I first did it. And then standing back here, you guys can see that the pitch of the roof is definitely significantly more than it was last time. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Thank you, everybody left constructive criticism and constructive comments. It's hard to admit when you're wrong about something. I still am a little resistant to cities that want to charge exorbitant fees for every little permit. I definitely learned a lesson, and I did not do my homework properly when I did this, relying on my instincts and previous experience to build it. I definitely needed a little bit more pitch, and I definitely should have gone with a flat rolled roof instead of the comp shingles. So we'll see how this thing turns out. I don't think it's going to leak anymore, but if it still does leak, the only other option I have is to change those comp shingles out to flat rolled roofing, and then I know that I will never have any more leaks ever again. As far as the sagging goes, I've definitely corrected that. I've added the gussets for extra strength. I went ahead and put all of my hurricane ties and all my Simpson ties. I used deck screws for exterior usage. lagged everything together. I am very, very confident this thing will not come down in an earthquake. If it comes down in an earthquake, that earthquake would have been so huge, we're going to have a lot bigger things to worry about than one little patio cover coming down. So thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Marley, what are you doing? What are you looking at me?
Honey, don't.
Why do boxers do that? I don't know.
She's looking.
Okay.
She's done.
You're silly. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Done looking at the shot now?
Yep.
Mosquitoes. They're already coming out with all the rain we've had. Background noise never fails. Where was I at?
Ring that bell.
Take 3.
And ring that bell. Ring that bell. That bell.
Wow. Okay. You gonna ring my bell? Can I ring your
Stop
bell?
it. No.
Okay.
No. So what's wrong with it? What, honey? What is it?
I'm not used to this whole you like ad lib. That's not what I was. That wasn't how I pictured this going in my mind.
Well, here it is.
Okay.
You're living the dream.
All right, I gotta look at my list.